4 years.
God bless me.
God bless you.
With 100.
You want to be 100?
To be 100.
The man is going to 100.
My 100, I want to still look. I'll be able to walk.
And be drinking soup.
And drink soup. Yes.
And what else?
And play with my grandchildren.
You'd have gone on retirement, eh?
Oh, long time.
Because why you laugh?
Me, I won't stay a day in office upon the attainment of the age.
We are giving you contract.
I see.
If we give you contract, you
contract.
Yeah.
No. You give me consultancy. Yes. Call me. I want to be in my house. Then you call me and say that there's this issue that we are confronted with. We need your expert advice on. Yeah. Then I will dress and feel important and come. But by then I'm on retirement. When you call me, I'll ask you, young man, do you know the time? I'm resting. Then you, hey, what is the problem? Then you narrate the problem. Then I'll let
you say, and so what?
I'll let
somebody come and meet the person.
Now I'll let my son drive me. If I have to be there in person, I'll assess. Then I'll send one of my mentees and our trainees
or proteges to come and
deal with
look at the matter for you and bring the kwacha to you.
That is how to live post-retirement.
Anyway, happy birthday, 94th, to the great Ejako Nimo. Abiam selection of the man there. Abiam has an agenda for today, but we will not tell anybody. Stephen Osei Achao is joining us on the phone line. Steve, good morning. Thank you for your time, Stephen.
Yeah, good morning, Johnny.
Great.
Good morning.
Good to hear from you.
Good to hear from you too, and Happy New Year.
Great. The ministerial vetting, has it been compromised?
Well, okay, Johnny. So, first of all, I want to send some greetings to our cherished listeners and the good people of Ghana. I also want to send some greetings to my Vice Chancellor and the UTAG members and staff of UW. And I also want to send a good morning and good greetings to my senior colleague, very senior colleague, Professor Jampo. I don't know if he's at the studio. And then our National UTAG President and the next members. Yes, Johnny. So, yes, if you talk about whether it's been compromised, we'll be looking at so many aspects of it. And I'm sure this has everything to do with the allegations against the vetting committee members, if I'm right. And the reason the reason we find ourselves here. Yes,
that's right.
I wouldn't say it's compromised, but certain positions or certain, I would say, unguided comments appears to make it appear that it's compromised and more or less it will end up losing its credibility and integrity.
You are a political marketing expert. Now, Oliver Bakavomaho has been summoned to appear this morning before the committee. Did he say anything wrong, really, that we don't know already to have been said by members of parliament, etc.?
Yeah, okay, Johnny. So I want to put this right. I'm into politics, but I'm into strategic communication.
Right.
Yes, so marketing and all that is. Yeah. So the issue of Oliver Becker's issue, as you rightly stated, the only twist to this is that somewhere 2017, 2021, we had some of these allegations coming up actually from MPs who were actually in Parliament. But I think that Baker's issue is more or less coming from someone, put in quotes, an outsider. And then yesterday, I listened to Mahama Yariga, the majority leader, and he also even mentioned that there were issues of people who had contributed to go and support a nominee for vetting. So some of these things, I think when you look at them, it's worrying. It's an allegation. And for me, I think that even though it is not out of place, based on the fact that there have been issues or some of these allegations from even within Parliament, I think that allegations or accusations are things that we really need to take seriously, more so when it's about Parliament, which is more or less, we see it as very credible and with high integrity. So it's not out of place, but certain conditions, certain things have actually contributed to that. If I may say, I mentioned unguided comments, and I think last 2 weeks I listened to Kwesi Pratt, our senior colleague Kwesi Pratt, and he made certain comments, concerns about the fact that certain questions were not actually necessary. So I wouldn't be talking for Lawyer Oliver, but I'm sure some of these things might have influenced some of the comments he's made. Let's say if a minister designates for, let's say, education or even youth and sports, the person goes for vetting. Instead of asking the person questions that will actually prove that that individual is qualified or has the competencies to lead such a ministry. You hear questions like, what kind of faith do you belong to? What kind of church do you go to? Can you sing this song? Are you a Freemason or all that? For you, people look at some of these things and then you realize that, are we actually being serious about it? I'm saying serious about this because this is government business. As a strategic communicator, government business is a serious business. So, and we don't take it lightly, but it appears that after studying some of these ministerial veterans, you appear that there's more or less some kind of, I wouldn't say joke. Well, Kwesi Pratt mentioned it's more or less like a comedy.
Right.
And it is high time you go out of that. You go away from that.
The Greater Accra Regional Minister designate was not asked a question by the whole committee. In fact, it was about 9 or 10 seconds and that was it. Were you satisfied with that show in Parliament?
Yes, so, well, I didn't watch his session, but you see, at least, as I mentioned that we are looking at qualifications. So, again, that might have also influenced some of the comments made by Oliver Baker. You see, so if we are being at least very concerned and very concerned about the fact that qualification and competence, at least one or two questions might have actually gone at least to him for him to show he's capable. But then if a whole committee, majority of them do not actually ask questions, then it raises some concerns. So that is the point.
I hear you.
It raises certain concerns.
Great.
Yes.
Professor Ransford Jampo is joining us on the other line. Prof, good morning. Thank you for your time.
Morning.
He's a political scientist and a guru at that. Prof, let's begin. Have you been satisfied with the kind of questions that are being fielded at the vetting table?
Well, some are important questions, some are trivial. And I think that to the extent that those who are asking questions are themselves not experts in the areas where various appointees are going to be made to work, I find the whole exercise also as not getting what it is required to get. And this has been like that from the inception of the Fourth Republic up till now. Sometimes questions that one wonders, their purpose, are asked, and you begin to wonder the relevance of then the exercise. So I think that you see the whole idea of if somebody is sent to a ministry and you want to find out about his competence in handling that area, you would need somebody who is really an expert. So I am proposing that the appointment committee should have their work augmented by technocrats within the various sectors, so that they can really subject the appointees to a certain line of questioning.
I see.
So that we can know that people are really prepared to do the work. But generally, yes, it is important for us to interrogate people who have been given them who have been nominated. Generally, I've not been too impressed with the way and manner things have gone, especially the fact that it appears that some people then want to use the opportunity to settle scores, and then others also want to use the opportunity to advertise themselves. Some people want to ask questions in perpetuity. You want to ask and ask and ask and ask. I mean, you ask yourself to what end? And then when we are making comments about this, some are also referring to what may have happened in time past. And I keep telling some Ghanaians that we cannot develop if we do not set the best standard for ourselves. We cannot develop if we use old, bogot, bad practice to equalize and to justify what is going on today that may be wrong. And so, in my view, you cannot expect to allow one person to ask questions for about 3 hours, 2 hours, and they are saying that. But once upon a time, a minister was grilled for 2 days. And so, when he was grilled for 2 days, some of us felt that, I mean, it was not necessary. It was, we're just, look, there are things, competences cannot all be determined just by answering questions. Some people work well on their job. And so if you want to grill the person for 1 week just to be able to ascertain his competence, there are certain things that you may still not find out. And so my view is that once the person submits his CV or her CV, you give it to very technical people to run through the CV and then get all the information that you are looking for. So by the time the person gets to the vetting committee, you would have known or you would have had a certain primary information or knowledge about the person's competence or capacity. But it's not the vetting ground is not a time for you to go to the person's CV. I mean, yesterday I was making this analogy that look, if you are going for a visa interview, for instance, which is supposed to also vet you to know whether why you are traveling and whether you will come back or not. If by the time you get there, they would have done all the background checks. They would have scrutinized every information that you may have given. And so the mindset would have been made up already so that 1, 2, 3 questions would confirm whether you qualify or you don't qualify. And I'm saying that we would have to take a cue from this. People submit their CVs ahead of time. So let us grill the CV very well. Let us vet the people in their absence before we vet them when we meet them. And in that case, if you have done a good job, at the background, once we meet them, then it would not be that let us be given the opportunity to ask all the questions. Some very, very, very trivial. Who is your mother? So what has the name of your mother got to do with your competences?
I think the Freemasons understand that question.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it has nothing to do with one's competence and one's capacity to address challenges confronting a sector. And so some of the things, and then you also look at the fact that some people also went, and then within 1, 2, 3 minutes, they said you are discharged. And sometimes it looks like it is about the fact that I've known you, I know you, so I'll let you go. But you, even though I know you, you may have done X, Y, Z, so it is time for it.
I hear you. Prof, let me bring
the whole process. It douses the relevance of the process. I think we should review and do a good job going forward as a democracy.
Great. Stephen, let me bring you into the conversation and ask you this. There are suggestions that President Mahama should and the NDC should apologize to the people of Ghana and just go beyond the 60 ministers mark that they have set for themselves. What do you say to that?
Please come again on that item.
I'm saying that there are suggestions that the President of the Republic and the NDC should just apologize to Ghanaians and go ahead and appoint more than 60 ministers. What do you say to that?
Okay, thank you. Before I go to that, I just want to make one point on the vetting issue. I think that, for example, I said a lot. The vetting committee members, I think it is high time, based on what is happening, there should be a training session for them before they go through this, because, yes, we've had all these issues. When there's a training session, they will be told what exactly they're expected to be doing. So it's important that we put this on record. There should be a training.
What kind of training are you talking about?
So I'm talking about, in Prof. Jampo's comment, he mentioned that, you see, people have submitted their CVs.
Right.
We are looking at competencies in specific areas. So even if you do not want to get experts in those areas and you want to use the ministers who are on those committees, you need to let them know that this is government business and it's a serious business, and we should go away from the issues of whether you can sing or you can't sing, whether you have slept or you didn't sleep, whether you are a mason or you are not a mason, so that they know that now the training session will tell them what they are expected to do on that committee. Exactly, that's what I want to put across, and I come back to your question.
I hear you.
Yes, Johnny. So
yes,
with that one, I don't think there will be a need for any apology, in my view, as a strategic communicator. At least the president, in his own wisdom, felt that the previous government had a lot of ministers, if I'm right, over 100 of them, and he felt that he was going to reduce it to 60. If the president, after looking at the situation, and he feels that there is a need for some few numbers to be added to it, well, I think that it's all about communicating to Ghanaians instead of apologizing to Ghanaians. I don't think, I'm not saying he doesn't owe Ghanaians any apology, but nothing has gone wrong for the president to apologize. He mentioned that I would want to use 60 or I would use 60, but based on the issues on the ground, there will be a need for me to go, let's say, 75. And for that matter, it is only right for the president to communicate to Ghanaians that this is what I need to do with justifications. That's all. For me, that, in my view, that's how.
Prof. Jamfo, so yesterday there was a face-off. MFA Hardcastle and Anodompre MP4 in Swamedwejuri. Was it necessary? Hello, Prof.
Oh, hello, yes. Please repeat the question.
So I said that yesterday there was a face-off between MFA Hardcastle and then Anodompre MP4 and Swamedwejuri. Was it necessary?
But they are both human beings. We don't know who. I've heard different accounts.
Sunrise on 3 FM,
some people are saying that Anodompre may have provoked the lady, and others are saying the lady also did that without being provoked, and all that. But the point is that at such a forum, it's a very important forum for the discussion of serious
on 3
business
FM,
and serious issues of national concerns. And you are thinking about vetting an applicant, a nominee. And so it's a serious thing that was supposed to be, that people need there to do. So we don't have much time to be engaging in personal attacks and personal quarrels. I think it was absolutely needless, and maybe people could have exercised some level of maturity there. I'm not so. My point is that whoever caused it didn't do well, and whoever also responded the way manner that brought the whole matter into public domain. I mean, also we tended to then trivialize what people were sent there to go and do. So I think that I'm told it's been reported to the speaker, and the speaker is supposed to cause a probe into the matter. Let the probe be done, and let us see who provoked who. But generally, I'm saying it's an important national forum, and we don't have to belittle that platform by getting into personals there.
Professor Jampo, I thank you very much indeed for your time. And Stephen, I'll take your closing thoughts on that. What do you leave us with?
Okay, so yes, I think that I've made enough comments. As I'll repeat again, that I think the vetting committee members will have to go through some training program for them to be guided. And on the issue of this, the issue between
Sunrise on 3 FM,
I think we are in a social space, and I'll be coming from the communications point of view and the strategic communicator to be precise. I think politicians at this point should be mindful of the environment we find ourselves, because we are in a social space. strategically, the space they found themselves. I watched the video. I actually did not know what triggered what happened though.
Right.
But I watched the video, and then if you are mindful of your space as a strategic communicator and a politician, you should know that there are certain comments or certain reactions you don't even need to get yourself into. Yes, they are both adults. Tempers will rise and all that, but you should be able to manage your tempers when you find yourself in such high positions in the country and whatsoever. So it's a lesson to all of us. And I took this from how Kelly said that social media is a devil in disguise.
Right.
It is good, but then it is a devil in disguise. So we need to be mindful of our social space.
Professor Stephen Osei Chow, I thank you very much indeed for your time. I'm grateful.
Thank you so much, Johnny. Have a good day.
You too, sir.